Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to Unparalleled Universe for another action figure review, and today we're taking a look at the brand new NECA Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Adventures Man Ray. And this figure was released as a part of NECA's Holothon 2023, and honestly, he was pretty easy to find. It only took me a day, and that is dope. I think that NECA is getting a lot better with their distribution. And I'm really excited that they're doing all these characters from the Archie comics because personally, I don't know too much about that corner of the Ninja Turtles universe. Like, I'm more familiar with the cartoon and the movies and some of the modern comics, but Archie, that whole era is kind of like a blind spot for me. So I don't really know a lot about these characters. I know that Man Ray debuted in the Archie comics, but he appeared in other things like there was the Ray Fillet figure, and then there was like a different version of him that appeared in the cartoons and all these kind of weird things. But as far as this actual character as he originally appeared, I didn't know too much about it. So after getting this figure, I went and I read some of those Ninja Turtles Adventures comics, and they're actually a lot of fun. So I want to continue to read those. But I did read the issues where Man Ray kind of has his origin, and yeah, he's an awesome character. Now I'm all excited about this. More excited than I was before because, originally I was just excited that it was a new NECA turtle figure that looked awesome. But now I'm like, oh man, this character's dope. I want to get his whole team. And they're actually releasing a lot of the, what are they called? The Mutanals or the Mutanimals at the same time as this guy. So you could build the team pretty quickly. But anyways, enough rambling. Let's go ahead and get into it, starting off with the awesome packaging. You are able to see Man Ray through the window, and he is looking freaking awesome. You could also get a look at the accessories that he comes with. Up front, we get some cool looking artwork where he's throwing the thumbs up. Over here it says Ninja Turtles, Adventures, Man Ray, all that good stuff. On the side of the box, we get some more Man Ray artwork, and I love that all the artwork is very much taken from those old Archie comics. It looks amazing. I love the packaging on these guys. On the back, we get a look at the figure itself, and then down here, it shows some artwork for some other figures that were recently released, including Slash. I have a review of him on my channel now, but then we also get a look at Jaguar and Dreadmon. And I have those two figures. I do plan on doing reviews. Hopefully, I'm able to get to those. On this side, we have some more artwork. And yeah, I just love the way the packaging looks on these figures. I like how it kind of looks like a comic book with the numbering and stuff. That is so dope. But enough about this pretty box. Let's go ahead and get Man Ray out and take a look. Oh man, right out of the box, Man Ray is freaking awesome. I love what we have going on here. This thing is amazing. Man, Ninja Turtles. I just love like the big goofy animals, but that are trying to act like serious, You can't help but laugh at it because it's so silly, but at the same time, it's so cool, Ninja Turtles, they're just like special. But Man Ray is so cool. I really love the way this figure turned out. I love the colors. They're very vibrant. The blue, the green, the yellow all looks really nice. He's definitely going to pop on the shelf, even alongside all your other turtle figures. I think this guy's going to stand out. But man, I love what we have going on here. He's got his big old wings back here, the tail. The only thing is I wish he did have a little bit more articulation. Things are kind of limited, but he's still fun to play with, so I'm happy with it. Most of all, the thing I love about this figure is the way that he looks. He just has a big, fun, goofy, but still badass look and vibe to him, So right out of the box, I was just like in love with this thing. Took me a while to get back to recording because I was just like playing around with it. The joints were a little tight in some areas, especially in the knees, so I did have to warm them up a little bit to get them unstuck and ready to move. And once I did that, we were good to go. Aside from the knees, all the joints felt really good. I like the way they did the wings here. I like how they're not attached to the arms. I feel like sometimes it seems like with certain versions of Man Ray or Ray Fillet, the arms are kind of attached to the wings. I'm happy that NECA did not go with that style. That way you could actually play around with the figure and have fun with it. But man, look at this dude. So much attitude and just a cool looking figure. This thing makes me freaking happy. But let's go ahead and get in close and take a look at the details because as always, NECA did a great job with the paint work. I love how they did the line work on here. It kind of gives it like these accents that make it feel like drawn, like something, like a comic book, obviously. They do that very successfully with the animated turtles. It gives them like that cartoon kind of feel. And with the Archie comic stuff, they kind of they don't do the two-tone, they just do the lines, and it does give it like a comic book feel. So that is super cool. But yeah, man, let's go ahead and get in close and see what we have going on. Just like with most of the turtle figures, NECA took a very stylized approach to Man Ray. You know, with a lot of the animated turtle figures, they have like that two-tone color stuff going on and all the dark lines and everything, and it kind of makes them feel like animated looking figures, you know? And I think with Man Ray, they took a similar approach, but it's more comic book inspired. He has all these dark lines on him that really make it look like, you know, like it's a drawn thing brought to life in plastic form. So yeah, they really did a great job with it. Starting off at the head, I love the facial expression on this head sculpt. I love the way the teeth look. I love all the straight lines and just everything looks so cool. And I like the contrast between the, you know, the black that we see throughout the figure and the like nice vibrant blue that we have in there. It makes the mouth look very cool and very, you know, like I said, almost like hand drawn or something. So this is so dope. And then he does have the gills on the side there. Man, I love this head sculpt. He just looks so pissed off. Like with the eyebrows and everything. It's so cool. And then moving down into the body, I love the colors that we have down here. Everything is painted extremely well. And it just looks amazing. And see, look, I love these dark lines on the figure. And I like how they're not like perfect, you know, they look like somebody was like hand-drawn lines. So that is just amazing stuff. NECA is so good at like, you know, kind of like conveying a certain technique, you know, like a lot of times the figures look like cartoons, and in this case it looks like a drawing, and I think that NECA is like one of the best at doing that type of thing. And throughout the figure here we do have these scales, and what I love about the scales is that they're all sculpted. They're not just painted on there. Like, you could feel them. So that is super dope. But yeah, look at that. Just looks amazing. It's extremely well done. Everything looks nice and clean. There isn't really any imperfections. I guess there's a small one right there. We've got a little bit of yellow, and then over here a little bit of blue, but aside from that, everything is really, really clean. Then on the back, he has his wings, and again we have like those dark accent lines in there that look really cool. Then he does have a tail with the bendy wire in it, and that looks nice. And it also swivels right there, which is cool. But yeah, man, this is a beautiful looking figure. I just love the way that he looks. I love all the colors. I love all the sculpted detail. I love the stylized approach that they took. Just everything about the way this figure looks is freaking awesome to me, and I'm just completely in love with this figure right now. And then for accessories, he comes with a bunch of really great stuff, including 4 different sets of hands. So first off, we have a pair of fists. Then we have a set of like open dramatic hands, I guess you could say. And then he has another set of open hands that kind of have a really like wide grip. You could use these hands to hold on to things. And then he has another set of gripping hands that are kind of in like a weird position, but you could use these to hold on to the gun that he comes with. But even when you don't have the harpoon, not the gun, but even when you don't have the harpoon in his hands, you could use these hands as something else. They're pretty expressive and stuff, so they're not your like typical gripping hands, so these are cool. And then he does come with 2 different heads. This is the first head. It's the one that we've already looked at. I think it's amazing. And then his alternate head is just kind of like a almost like a smirk or something. He just looks annoyed or something. I don't know. This is a very cool head sculpt too, but I will say I like the first angrier head sculpt a little more, but both of them are very nice. In addition to the hands and the heads, he does come with some other cool stuff, including his harpoon gun. And I think this is really cool. It matches him very well in regards to paint style and stuff. It's all very clean and well sculpted, well painted. And it's just a cool weapon for him to have. And I love that he could hold it with no problem at all. And he looks really cool holding onto it too. So, and then he also came with the turtle, and I think this looks really good. I love that they threw in some sea life in here with him. It would have been nice if he came with like, you know, a stingray or a shark or maybe some more turtles, but you know, I love that they at least threw one in there, so that could help you guys get some like underwater or, you know, under the sea type of shots. And this is just really well done. The paintwork looks really good. I love the facial expression on him. Yeah, so this is very nice. And then he also comes with his little homie, Bubba, I think that's his name. And this thing is hilarious. Look how mad he looks. And just like Man Ray, he does have the sculpted scales on there. And I just love the way these two look together. They're going to be really cool, like in a display. I just love how different the colors are between these two characters. I think they look really cool together. I love that NECA included this guy. And they did such a great job with it. So yeah, awesome stuff here. And then now for some size comparisons. Here we have Man Ray alongside the NECA animated Raphael. And I can't remember what the name of this set was, but it was the one that had like the brighter colored turtles. I think it was an awesome set. I almost passed on it. I'm glad that I got it. But I do think that Man Ray looks pretty good next to the turtles. I know this is like animated and comic and stuff, but as far as size goes, I think it works out pretty well. Same thing could be said for Shredder on the other side. I like that Man Ray is so much bigger than both of them. And then next up we have Man Ray alongside the NECA animated Bebop and Rocksteady. And then next up we have Man Ray alongside the NECA animated Triceraton and the NECA animated Ground Chuck. And then next up we have Man Ray alongside a few of his Mutanimal teammates. On the left we have the NECA animated version of Wingnut, and on the right we have the NECA animated version of Leatherhead. And I would love to get the Archie comics versions of these two characters. That way they could fit in better with Man Ray. But even like this, I think they look pretty cool together. So it'd be nice to set them up as a team on the shelf. And then here he is alongside another one of his Mutanimal teammates with Mondo Gecko. And then on the opposite side, we have the Archie comic Slash, which I freaking love. One of the best NECA turtle figures so far, in my opinion. And then here we have him alongside the Mafex Classic Spider-Man and the Marvel Legends Animated Series inspired Spider-Man. Here we have him alongside a Hasbro Lightning Collection Red Ranger and a Star Wars Black Series Imperial Stormtrooper. And then finally, the most important size comparison, here we have Man Ray alongside the Marvel Legends Pizza Spider-Man and Marvel Legends Bucky Cap. Man Ray does have some pretty decent articulation, nothing over the top, but definitely enough to have some fun with. There are some joints that I wish got a little bit more range, but aside from that, I'm pretty happy with the posability on this figure. And I'm having a blast messing around with it. So let's go ahead and take a look at what we have going on. Starting off at the head is on like a long ball peg joint. So it kind of like slides around here on the top, and you could kind of get it into some interesting positions. There is a little bit of tilt on there, but it's kind of limited because of the awkward shape of the head. And then you can look side to side. You can only look up to about right there, and then he can only look down to right there. So yeah, the awkward shape of the head definitely limits things up here. And then for the torso, he does have a diaphragm cut, which is nice. Gets some really nice side-to-side movement, which will definitely help for like dynamic fighting poses and swimming poses and things like that. So that's cool. And it does go back to about right there, which is pretty impressive. Probably go further if his big-ass wings weren't in the way. And then you can also, twist on that diaphragm cut. And then going forward, it's a little disappointing. So it only crunches forward to about right there. And that's definitely one of those joints that I wish had more range. Yeah, it seems like a lot of the toy companies are having trouble with forward range on diaphragm cuts. So I don't know. A part of me kind of wants to pop them apart and see if I could add a little bit to it. But I feel like I've been doing that with a bunch of figures lately. So I don't know. I'm having enough fun with this figure that maybe I don't need to do it, but I know that I'd be happier if I did. So I don't know. I'm kind of torn. We'll see. But anyways, that's all we get. And I wish we got a little bit more, but I'm not really going to cry about it because I'm still having fun with this guy. And then he does have ball joints at the shoulders that would allow his arms to go all the way around if his wings weren't in the way. Where you could bring his arm up to the side to about right there, which is pretty nice. Look at that. And then he does have upper bicep swivel. He has a single joint at the elbow. And at first I thought I was going to be disappointed with that. But it gets pretty decent range. I was thinking about it. Man Ray actually gets a little bit more range on the elbows than some Ninja Turtle figures that actually have double joints at the elbows. So yeah, I'm good with it. Get him into a nice flexing pose. Yeah, really cool. And then he does have rotation at the wrist and a hinge as well. So pretty decent stuff at the arms. Can't really get him in front of him too much because of his design, but let's see if we get him into like a decent punching pose. He's fun to play with, but it is a little difficult to get him into cool poses because he has such an awkward design, you know? But this diaphragm cut definitely helps with like punching poses. Yeah, that's not too bad. Yeah, the sideways movement on the diaphragm kind of makes up for the arm not being able to get like in front of him, you know? Yeah, so that's cool. And then now for the legs, he does have the typical NECA upper thigh setup where you can't really see the joint, but there's still some movement in there because it's rotating on the ball joint, and there's also, you know, swivel on the thigh itself. Like the thigh swivels on a piece on the inside of the thigh, and then there's another like a socket that's on a ball joint, and the leg also rotates on there. So between the two of those, we get some really nice range, and we don't even have to look at any joint right there. So perfectly executed. That is awesome stuff. And then you can only bring his leg up to about right there. That's kind of what you have to sacrifice a little bit of the forward leg movement with this setup, with this coming down this far. But with certain characters, that's perfectly fine. I don't know if I need Ray Fillet to do a front kick. Ray Fillet or Man Ray, whatever you want to call him. He is able to kick to the side a really nice amount, so maybe he can't front kick, but he could side kick, bam. All those guys who try to mess up the environment, come through and just kick them in the jaw, boom. So that's nice. And then it goes back only to right there. He does have double jointed knees, bam, look at that. Those get some decent range, that'll work. No lower leg swivel. I kind of thought he had a swivel at the boot, but maybe there just wasn't enough room right there. But the foot goes forward to right there, comes up to right here. Then he's got some rocking action. Oh, I forgot the tail. The tail also rotates and is able to shift around and all that good stuff. So you got movement at the tail, and I think there's a bendy wire in there. Oh yeah, look at that. There is. Boom. That'll work. So yeah, like I said, not a crazy amount of articulation, but I'm having fun playing around with this figure, and that's really all that matters. You could definitely get him into some fun poses and, you know, get him into fighting poses or just, you know, him standing there looking badass or whatever. You know, he's got some options. And, you know, in my mind, Man Ray's kind of like the bruiser of the crew, so I just don't expect for him to have a crazy amount of articulation, you know? He's the tank. So he doesn't need to be all acrobatic. He just needs to come through and smash shit, Hulk style. So yeah, like I said, I'm happy with the articulation. Even though there's not a whole lot going on, it's definitely enough for me, and I'm having a lot of fun with it. So yeah, good stuff. Alrighty, so overall, at the end of the day, when the smoke clears, the dust settles, and it's all said and done, I absolutely love this figure. Man Ray reminds me of everything that I love about the Ninja Turtles. He's a big, kind of silly, goofy looking character with bright colors, but he's badass and he has a cool backstory. And I think that NECA did a great job on this figure. Everything about it is extremely well done. The sculpting work is amazing as always. The paint is like above and beyond. NECA does a great job with capturing different artistic styles with their paint techniques. They always kill it. The accessories are great too. He comes with all kinds of good stuff. A bunch of weapons, 2 heads. He comes with his little buddy, Bubba. That is so cool, you know. It almost feels like a 2-pack. But yeah, man. The articulation is decent too. I do wish that he got more range in the torso, but that's really my only complaint. And, you know, as far as like the paint details and execution and like any types of flaws, for the most part, he's perfect. But there are, you know, little things here and there, but nothing major, nothing too distracting or eye-catching. For the most part, it's a beautiful looking figure, and I just love it, man. Even though I'm not attached to like the Archie comics turtles, I'm down for all the Archie stuff at this point because I'm a huge fan of the Slash figure, and now I really love this Man Ray, and I can't wait to open Dreadmon and Jazz War. Those 2 figures look amazing. I recently picked them up, and it's going to be cool to have all the Mutanimals together. Like I said earlier, hopefully they give us Archie comics versions of Leatherhead and Wingnut and Mondo Gecko. I think that'd be so cool. But yeah, man, NECA continues to kill it with Ninja Turtles, and I'm all for it. But with that, I think that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and all that good stuff. Also, be sure to hit the bell notification so you know every time that I go live. If you're not aware, I go live every Tuesday at 7 p.m., every Friday at 7 p.m., and every Sunday. Not sure about the time, but every Sunday to talk about comics. So come through for all those live streams. I look forward to seeing you guys there. Thank you very much. Peace.